Okay, something that happens in saws, especially with short parts, and sometimes your chucking does not grab good enough, and it spins. And when it spins, it embeds little teeth in here, and it's just a mess. And if we go back and try to cut this again, we're just going to ruin another new blade and be out, I forget, 100 and whatever. It's not quite 200, but they're expensive because it's a big saw. Big blades cost normal money instead of cheap money. There's a big piece of it right there. Yeah. So anyway, some things that help when you're in this situation. Obviously, once you got teeth embedded in everything, just don't go back with the same blade. We could go and put a carbide blade on here. We have carbide blades, but it's not worth. Carbide blades tend to ruin themselves the most on softer metal. They claim you can use them at softer metal and turn up the speed and get more production. I have not seen it work for me. Maybe it works for somebody. For me, they're just more expensive, and I use them only on hard stuff. And they're $300 and some for the carbide ones. So we don't really want to put one on to just try and slog through this. We probably will go to parting this on the lathe. But you reduce pressure if you can't hold on your part good. You can reduce on a lot of saws, and this one really easy. Right here it has adjustable 60, 30, 40. We can put it down, I think, yeah, 20. Okay, 20 is the lowest it lets me go to. And we just turn the pressure way down. But again, we're not going to cut this one. Now, another thing, too, when you're on a vise like this and you got this in the saw, as it clamps, in fact, we can watch that. We'll just go ahead and clamp it. You can watch that vise will angle a little bit when it comes up. Not a huge amount, but it angles there, and so it's just like a lot of things. You're really only grabbing here and here. You don't get to grab along the whole distance. So what do we do about that? If we were going to be doing this, we'd come up with another 5-inch piece on the other side, which right there is an easy 5-inch piece to put in there. And then we clamp our vise, and it will clamp straighter now. It still may be low in how much it clamps. So knowing that we've had problem with this, we would want to go with lower pressure feeding through there to cut it if we're going to saw it, which we're not going to saw this anyway now. Yeah, when they rotate, it's just bad. It's bad when your part rotates, your saw is still feeding, and it's ugly. The other thing we could do is start over, make a new part, but we'll probably try the parting. We have carbide parting blades, which we may wreck an insert or two on it too, but they're relatively inexpensive. So yeah, clamping in the vise for your saws, getting a second piece in there. Another thing you can do is you can take a piece of good strong all thread and a adjustable nut in there, or a mill jack. A lot of things you can do to get your length in there. If you've got another piece of the stock you're working with, we could have put in another piece of 5-inch stock, but since it is 5 inches in this case, it's just real easy to use a 2-4-6 block on the 4 side and a 1-2-3 block. As I've said many times, we use those for all kinds of things in here. They're handy.